Any project manager can tell you that the initial timeline you come up with of how long something is going to take is going to be optimistic. And you won't know yet the reasons why it's going to take longer than you think it should. It's the unknown unknowns that are really going to get you. And when it comes to audits and launching a project after an audit, this is especially true. So, of course, if you go through the audit process and everything comes out great and there are no serious issues, then that's perfect. And you're going to be able to launch and things will be fine. But in reality, most projects do wind up having serious security issues that can range from local problems that may be able to be remediated easily to a host of even architectural issues, which might require a full redesign. So right at the start, if you have issues late in the audit process, that fix review is going to add time before you can launch. That might delay your launch. That's going to affect how people perceive your project because now you have to explain why your project is launching later. Even worse, if you go through this redesign process in a rushed fashion, you're liable to insert new vulnerabilities into the code. And the most expensive outcome here is a hack. At the end of the day, if your protocol is exploited, that is going to cause a massive loss of user confidence and make it very hard to run your protocol successfully, which means that it's very important that you go through this fixed review process carefully and slowly, which again has direct financial costs. And then finally, we've already talked about it, an exploit. If your audit comes back with a large number of issues, that can be indicative that there is something fundamentally wrong with your project. Audits are time-boxed. They're run by an external third party. That third party doesn't have unlimited time or unlimited resources. And what that means is if you haven't made sure that your code is already secure by the time you get to an audit, all the issues might not be found. And it is much better to hedge against the risk of a rare but incredibly damaging outcome than to go out and roll the dice with millions of dollars of user funds. Moving fast and being secure often sound like they are going to be opposites, but in reality, it's mostly about developers not having the right systems in place. Running into security issues is not something that's going to happen all the time on a day-to-day. When you're going through the software development lifecycle, most of your day is not spent actually writing up a particular function. A huge amount of time is spent testing your code, designing your code, understanding how systems are going to interact, benchmarking things. When you go in and actually make those critical changes and actually implement those designs, and you make a PR that's going into the sort of core development branch, that's when you need feedback. Because at that point, you're already going through the review process, your team is already reviewing your code. You want to make sure that security vulnerabilities are not also being introduced with whatever optimizations or performance improvements or new features you're adding. And while this sounds like something that would take more time, with the proper automated analysis, things like static analyzers and fuzzers, these checks can happen while the other reviews are going on. While you are sitting around waiting for your code to get merged, AuditHub can be there for you looking for vulnerabilities. When we go through an audit process, if you've gone through this before, you're familiar with the quoting stage. This is an oft-dreaded portion where your preliminary version of your code base is handed off to someone and they come back with some kind of time estimate telling you how long the audit is going to take. And one of the very important factors here is the complexity and the attack surface of the code. So yes, there is some bulk that people have to spend just reading, but what analysts are most concerned about is, am I going to hit a pocket of code that all of a sudden explodes and now I have to spend a day or multiple days reasoning about some very complex, convoluted invariant that needs to hold for your system to be correct? And when they're looking at a system that maybe has limited testing or does not have static analyzers or fuzzers in place to help assure them that not only have the developers thought about this carefully, but also there are guarantees they can already rest upon and they can move on when they hit those critical red hot spots of the code. They don't have to spend hours and hours and hours on it in some sort of worst case scenario analysis. So the more defenses application has in place already, the faster people are going to be able to audit that code.